I just can't take no pleasure in killing. Just some things you gotta do. Don't mean you have to like.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
You want to know what happens to an eyeball when it gets punctured? You got any idea how much blood jets out of a guy's neck when his throat's been slit?
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What up, everyone? DJ Nubis here with the Meltdown Radio podcast with my co-host and ghoul brother from another ghoul mother, Mr. Tony the Dead, over here. He's over here. We are the Ghouls at Midnight. This is episode 62. And if you're not familiar, we alternate picks every week of a different movie, either modern, old, in between, whatever. And we sit down and review it, give our scores, and something we plan to do at the end of the year is to take everything, figure out what is the best of the best that we like the most, and then we'll kind of vote between probably what are we going to do, like our top 10 maybe for each, probably like the top 10.
Yeah, not getting crazy or anything.
Yeah.
A lot of movies.
Yeah, but there's some stuff that we found that are pretty cool and enjoyable. And my pick this week, of course, is 2025's Ash. It's directed by Flying Lotus, stars Isa Gonzalez, Aaron Paul, Iko Uwais, very familiar name for me, Kate Elliott, Balua Coel, and then Flying Lotus apparently is in here as well. I guess I know which one he is. So before we dive into the review, let's review the trailer. Here we go.
It's your fault. Abnormal activity detected. Where am I? Who am I? I don't know what happened here. But when I woke up, there is no one left. Movement at exterior airlock. Who are you?
It's me. You sent me a distress call. What do you remember?
Just moments.
We need answers. Try to stay calm.
Something is not adding up.
Listen to me. You and I, we have a purpose. Do you understand this?
What are you not telling me? What's happening? Unusual life form detected.
And there you go. There is the trailer for Ash.
Yep.
Plot deals with an astronaut who awakens aboard a station on a strange planet with all her crew killed. Subject to amnesia and paranoia, she can't determine whether or not to trust a man who claims he knows her and was sent to rescue her. I remember I think you and I think we might have been together when we did this trailer reaction. I was doing a collection of stuff, but I don't remember if you were there with that or not. No?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, well, anyway, I did do a trailer reaction of this. It was like part of a group of other ones, and I remember saying to myself, this looks really cool. Like, I like the surreal colors, and, I like those kind of films that kind of play around with psychedelic vibes.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you a bit of an Alien versus maybe The Thing and different stuff like that. But obviously the plot is a lot different than that. But neither one of us had seen this prior to this. So your first impressions of Ash?
Again, I say this like every video, but I didn't watch the trailer, so I go into it blindly. No idea what I was getting into. Kind of a little slow in the beginning, trying to piece the pieces together, but about halfway through it really picks up, and then it becomes even more interesting. But at first I was kind of like, man, this is getting tough to get through a little bit, but then it picked up. So, but yeah,
I was kind of looking as I was watching. I was like, it's almost like smoke and mirrors. Like, you've got all the pretty colors and the way they're doing the landscaping, and of course the mystery of why things are they are, because it's really, we just pick up and Rhea, who's played by Gonzalez, wakes up and she's by herself and the rest of the crew is dead, and we don't really know what happened. And of course it's a series of unfolding her memories and everything to kind of get back to where we start to figure out towards the end like exactly what did happen. And so my best guess is they're a scientific team on a research planet, and they're just trying to find, I don't know if they were there to find life or just find another place to maybe live for humans or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But she's there with like a crew, and one of them, Audie, played by Iko Uwais, who is known for his martial arts skills of the raid and stuff like that. So I was really surprised to kind of see him in this. I was like, I'm like, am we going to get some fighting in this? This would be kind of cool. Now, he does have a little bit, but it's not like you would see in any of his other movies.
You
But
gotta admit, that was like, I knew he can do that, but in
yeah,
this movie, that was kind of random. Like all of a
well,
sudden,
yeah,
this
yeah.
crew member
And
can kick your
I
ass
think,
out. Like,
I
holy
think that
shit.
was the whole point of why the director probably like, Equal probably said, I want to just do something different than what I've done. And then I think Flying Lotus probably said, that's cool, but I'm gonna have this scene where you're actually kicking ass. Like I
Yeah.
think he wanted to throw it in there just to say, "This you're equal Watts, man. I've got to have you do something."
People are
You know,
expecting it.
right, right, right. But it is kind of out of place. I mean, there was some fighting in terms of like people going crazy and stabbing and killing each other,
Oh
but
yeah.
he was able to pull out a couple of his leg moves and shit in there, so that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rhea is waking up. Got a bruise on her head. She actually ends up walking out of the ship at first, or whatever their little station there, and kind of like a bad move at first. But obviously she's dealing with amnesia. But she's walking out of the station, and
Yeah.
she makes it a little bit further, and then like she sees like a shadow, like almost like a mirror reflection of herself across the way. But then she realizes that she can't breathe that atmosphere. They actually had to have suits to do that. So she started making her way back to the station where she almost died from just naive, I guess, thinking she could just walk out there and live.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she comes back in, and then now she's trying to piece together everything that happened, and it's only in like bits and pieces. And plus, I do like the way that Lotus used this the split second like scenes of like flashbacks. Like you get a lot of horrific looking scenes and melted faces and
Yeah.
just a lot of crazy looking imagery. Now that's cool, but sometimes you're like, man, just give me that a little bit longer, because I really enjoyed that aspect. I don't know if it was all CGI or practical effects, but it looked fucking pretty good, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
it was a nice blend, but there was like when the ship landed at the one part, like toward the end. I don't know where it was. It toward the later on in the movie. It was like that kind of looks like shit, but
Yeah.
the stuff looked okay.
Well, I think that's sort of like one of the things, like I said, how this movie, because we talked about how it's kind of slow a little bit to kind of get moving, but
Yeah.
I think that's what the director wanted, to kind of pretty it up to kind of distract us from that, slow build that he was trying to build with the film. So
Yeah.
a lot of that was going on. But anyway, she's there trying to put things together. And all of a sudden, they have this computer that talks to him, sort of like, 2001 Space Oddity type shit. Says, hey, yeah, you got someone outside trying to get in. And so she's like paranoid because she doesn't know who it is. So she grabs like a butcher knife, and then she's sitting by the door, and they get ready to attack each other. And it's this guy, Brian, played by Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
And he starts telling her that, he was sent to help her and rescue, because they sent out a distress call about something that happened on their ship. And they spend the next, part of the movie that we're watching kind of unraveling everything, the mysteries. He puts her in this like kind of machine where she'll lay down and it scans them to see if there's any infection.
Yeah.
And she seems clear. So
The
then
med
they kind
pod,
of
that thing's one of my favorite things in the movie. That thing.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so
like that's I don't know what they say, but like it's like cute while it's digging into your head.
yeah, because like it actually kind of do surgery on you, but it's painful. But then he's like, "Oh, don't worry, relax, relax." I'm like, "You relax. This thing's like trying to pull my brains out of here."
Yeah, it's not gentle either.
Well, right? Yeah, it's like a little machine doing its thing, and it's like, dude, sucks. Yeah. But sooner or later, she just kind of starts remembering things, and she was apparently I think dating Kevin. That was one guy that she was actually involved with on the
Yeah.
ship, and so she remembers playing. I think it was like a trumpet or something, and they were just close and whatever.
Yeah.
And then we kind of get this scene where they discovered this. It looked like a pit of some sort. It wasn't really clear.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it like shot up some kind of energy, and I guess this is what they felt could be used as almost like a terraforming type of thing
Yeah.
to allow them to actually have people on the planet. But as they came back, it turns out they had some sort of spore that like started infecting the computer of the ship, and just almost like a growth.
Yeah.
And that itself didn't seem that bad. It looked like it was just more of like a
Like a
plant of
flower.
sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then she notices there's like a parasite on the plant, and so she's pulling it off and putting it into a petri dish. Me, anything I find is going to a freaking unbreakable lockbox. It is not going to a
Yeah.
petri dish.
Yeah. Right.
So this thing is,
obviously it was alive too. So
yeah, exactly. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, so she's gonna study it. Which a lot of them guys, like, they were kind of when it first started taking over the computer, the plant growth. They were kind of like, we need to probably get out of here. This is not something we're really equipped to handle.
yeah.
But she got a little bit too curious and wanted to check it out, and that's when this little thing jumps out of the petri dish and attacks Kevin, infecting him. So it crawls into your ears and your holes, almost like Wrath of Khan type creature that kind of jumps in and takes over the body. And then you just turn into almost like a zombie from 28 Days Later, almost like you just start going crazy,
Yeah.
trying to kill. And then, of course, the crew, Kevin, Audie comes and he tries to stops Kevin, but then gets infected himself, and it just keeps going and going. This thing just keeps jumping from body to body.
Yeah. And the way it gets in you too, it's like kind of like the Matrix, but like it'll go through any hole.
Right. Your nose, your ear.
Oh, and it I don't know. I don't know. I just like it when it was going up that nose, and it's like stretching the nose because it's not like gonna slide in. It's just pushing it. Oh, and I'm like, I would just be like, I just wish you were death. Like when it's in there, and he's like, oh, like this. I'm like, I can't even imagine what that feel like. If something's crawling inside your head like that. Oh, yeah. This movie had a lot of like adaptations from like ideas from other movies.
Oh yeah.
But like it all worked. It all worked out. But
yeah, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and stuff like that
Right.
too. It's got a little bit of everything in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of the horrific things we saw were kind of like the thing, like just which is weird because the bodies of the crew weren't near as deformed or messed up as the actual flashback she had of certain things. I don't know if that was the alien species like projecting its past or something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
pretty crazy the horrific scenes that you see like flicker on the screen.
Oh yeah. They look like you said, like 28 Days Later, or just they're like bloody, and their eyes are all like kind of weird looking, and they don't look human. They look like something's up.
Yeah,
That's all I
like
can say.
yeah, exactly. And so anyway, as we go along, it turns out we also get a moment where I believe, what is her name? Catherine Clark. She's like, I think she's supposed to be like the sergeant at arms of the ship, but she disappeared like prior to Rhea waking up. And apparently, according to Rhea's memory, she told Clark to take off to get out to go to get help because of the craziness that was going on with the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
So we get this moment where Clark shows back up, but she's kind of like sitting over the body of Brian. And at this point, Rhea thinks that Clark might be infected and vice versa. So they have this fight, which ends in Clark's death. But then, of course, that gets unraveled, and we find out that Brian was never alive. He was actually already dead long before her memory says that he showed up. So that tells us that she understands that she's the one that's infected with the parasite.
Yep.
So she actually killed Clark, who was actually fine, but they just didn't trust each other, and that's kind of the paranoia that happens.
Yeah, he said to her, "You're infected, bitch."
So she decides to do the little surgery thing on her own, like with the little machine we just talked about, where it just kind of starts picking in your brain. So it starts pulling this parasite out, which kind of gets on the loose anyway,
Yeah.
and then reinfects Brian's body, which brings him back to life. So
That
no
was
more zombie.
crazy.
Yeah,
That was like Cronenberg shit right there.
a lot of the visuals would look a lot like Cronenberg. That's exactly it.
Well, I should say that was like the thing, but the suit they wore outside kind of reminded me like a Cronenberg shit. Like
Yeah,
the way that it looked so neat though. It looked really cool.
yeah. I
And
mean,
when
it's well
she
thought
like
out.
when that girl that got up, but he said like because I forgot where the hell I was like, who the hell is this person? Then they flash back to the table. I'm like, oh, it's her. And then she cuts on fire, which that gun that she used for the little flamethrower in that was really neat too. But then she's on fire, and and you see in the trailer she smashes the extinguisher, and I was like, that was cool.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
really neat.
So yeah, she then goes through again having to kill Brian for the second time. you know,
Yep.
but then we kind of get the weird moment of the film where the parasite's actually talking. It's telling her like what it is, what it's doing on the planet, and what it plans to do. And that I thought was a little weird, just because I didn't expect it to really do that. Like I just thought
Yeah.
it'd be kind of like a little monster that was just continuing to try to infect her. So it's just a little weird sequence.
Yeah.
Uh, but it does. I guess what it kind of tells us is that once it infects something, it can kind of learn from it. It's almost like learning a program, I guess, how
Yeah.
to communicate. So yeah, it basically says, yeah, we're trying to infect humans and we're gonna evolve you into something more.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I don't want that.
Nah.
She's like,
I
I'll
don't want to be
pass.
part of a collective.
Right. Uh, so yeah, I guess in the end, like she destroys this particular parasite, but we kind of learned that after she takes off in the next spaceship, that she's going to the I guess it's like a satellite station or something, and
Yeah.
that apparently already has more parasites there. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to lead to a sequel or not of any kind, but I actually enjoyed her character. I thought she was a pretty good character.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if there's not enough there to go with like whether or not she can be like the next Ripley or not, but possibility, we just didn't see enough to really justify whether she can be that kind of action hero, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy her character a lot. What did you like the most about the film?
Uh, I liked her character. Like I said, I like different little things in it. Like I like the suits. I like how they did that. I like the fighting. Even like when she like would like stab them and stuff, they just kept on coming. Like they're like pretty much unstoppable. Even when
Yeah.
she stabbed him in the back of the leg, he went down, but it was like nothing. They don't feel anything. They don't care. So it's like even scarier. I like that. I love the way he looked, the monster at the end, the creature. Um, I get like they said like they left her to be the last one, and they're like I guess I don't understand exactly why they did that. Like they wanted her to be with one of them, but why didn't they take the rest of them? Like I know they did, but like why was she like the one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I think of is once Clark left, I think their plan was basically kind of like the thing. So if you think about Kurt Russell, and the other guy, the actor there, it leaves you hanging like whether or not one of them is actually infected with the thing. And so I
Right.
think that was kind of their plans. Like, okay, we're going to sneak you into whatever other ship, and then we're just going to rebuild from there with another spread of the parasite.
Yeah.
But that begs the question too, though, like why the other station was already infected. Like, how did it get infected up there? We don't really know. It probably would have been better if they didn't have that where it was infected and just she was able to get away, because it would make more sense with the story that we had.
Yeah.
Um,
It could have been
but
better if there was one stowed away on her, like
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's going toward it, and then you see like it they zoom in and there's like one on the back of the craft or something, like it got from the land. That would make
Yeah,
more sense. But
exactly.
unless that one did make it up there and she was infected, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't know is like how it got up there, unless it was previously done. I don't know, but that's the only thing. It's kind of like a loophole there with that. But I don't know. Maybe I could get an interview with Flying Lotus and talk to him about that because I'm very curious
Yeah, yeah.
what his thought process was with that. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty cool movie. I don't know if it quite lived up to what I thought it would be when I first saw the trailer, but
Yeah.
let's give our final thoughts and ratings. Where do you fall on this?
Final thoughts. Like I said, beginning was slow. I was paying attention to it, but I kept having to like pause it and like do something else and then come back. And then after a while, it finally started picking up the pace. Like the flashbacks were cool and everything, and it's like what again, I know it's the beginning of the movie, you're not supposed to know anything, but like I don't know shit. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like it's like I'm not picking up the pieces, I guess. And neither was she. And then I, when I don't like what's his name, Aaron Paul.
Mhm.
I don't like him. I'm sorry, I don't like you. But I think he did a good job in this. I think those two together. Well, I should say he did an okay job because it was a little stiff at times, but the whole reveal was cool. Like I said, I love the robot. The med bot was really neat. Some of the effects were um, noticeable. Like the ship, and then like it going into her head. You could see it's like there's no way that wouldn't be tearing skin and shit. But yeah, I mean, not a bad movie. I like. I think if they didn't have like the Cronenberg type stuff and all that kind of, it would have been like, oh, it's just something that's infected them, and then they're just acting like assholes. Like, oh, that sucks. But like the fact that it opened up its head and that was cool. So yeah, not too bad a movie. Not sure if I'd watch it again, but I don't know. I'd have to say it's probably like 5.5. It's not like bad, but it's not great. So
Right,
it's kind of
right,
like
right.
right in the middle for me. I didn't mind it. I liked watching it, but that's as far as I go.
That's
And
fine.
she was hot as hell,
Yeah,
by the
very
way.
beautiful, very beautiful. Um, yeah, I love the visuals. I don't mind the Cronenberg stuff. I think the only thing that I would say is if you're gonna start dabbling in that territory where you have all
Mm.
the visuals and the music was good for
Oh,
it.
the soundtrack was really good too. Yeah,
But if you're gonna go down that realm, you might as well just go full blown Cronenberg. Don't hold back. Like I expected, like, yeah, it's kind of cool to see these guys be like, 28 days later zombies, but I just want to see more chaos. I want to see
yeah,
crazy, crazy gore. Like I said, those little flashes of stuff that were popping in her head, even with Clark, like she thought she saw Clark with like, her suit on with the blood on her face. Like that never happened, but that's the kind of shit I want to see. Like I want to
yeah,
see really crazy visuals and gore. And I
yeah.
think he kind of held back in that department a little bit. Uh,
Kind
but
of
yeah,
like in I don't mean to cut you off, but kind of like
that's
in
all right.
uh Event Horizon.
Yes, yes, exactly. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Acting was good. I didn't really have a problem with that. I mean, you don't see a whole lot because the crew is pretty much dead from the start of the film. It's just like a quick flashback. I think I would have liked a little more fleshing out of the characters,
Yeah,
just to kind of get an idea how they would go. Like that's the great thing about Alien is that you get this nice build up of the characters that are in there before all the chaos happens. And if you're going to do a slow build, that's the way you do it. This one kind of just skipped over all that, which
yeah,
kind of hurts the film a little bit.
yeah,
Um, I don't know if I would own this. I might just because I do love the visuals a lot, but again, I don't know if I would actually own it. But I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's not something I'm going to watch a lot, but I may revisit it down the road just for the hell of it
yeah,
someday. But it's not a bad. I thought it might be better, but it's okay.
yeah. If there's a sequel, I'll watch the sequel. You know.
Yeah, and who knows? They might go total, like I said, aliens or something and get crazy with it.
Oh yeah.
Or it might just go 28 days later on a spaceship. You know,
The
got all
satellite
these
will land
people-
on Earth.
Right, yeah. And that's a great concept, really.
Which is that new Alien show coming out, Alien Earth.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Most definitely. All right,
yeah.
well, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, not much to report. Like I said, it's a little bit of a slow burn early. Keeps you interested. I mean, you are curious about like why things are happening, but again, it skips some things that would be helpful for the rest of the characters. Because dude, they're dead before you even really know who they were. Like it's like,
well, like that
'cause
flying.
you don't really care about them at that point. It's like, okay, we don't give a shit. They're dead.
Maybe that's their point too. Like, we don't want you to get too attached to them because we just want you to like, oh man, these guys are bad, kill them, kind of thing. But I don't know. Like
Well,
that
yeah,
flying
but
lotus guy, you see him at the table, and then like I don't remember him again.
Nope.
Like I
That's
know
your
you.
director too.
Yeah, I don't remember you, dude. I don't remember if you like.
He just says, "I want to be in this movie for like one hot second."
Yeah. Just let me laugh at the table, and then that's it.
Right. But yeah, but I mean, they did try to build something with Kevin and Gria, like as far as a couple, but it was very limited. Like it didn't really dive too deep into it. So it's like it's hard to feel any kind of emotion from that because you can tell she's feeling emotion about it, but it's not. Again, they just kind of roll over that stuff really fast.
Yeah,
which is
True.
unfortunate. Anyway, we're going to be doing your review soon for Child's Play 1972, which is very interesting, so to say.
Yeah.
But later this week, on Saturday, I'm going to be getting with Thrash Pano Ponds to do Vintage Cult Cinema for the 1977 film The Car.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm going to dive into that. Then later in the evening, I'll get with Olvin for Silver Screen Savants, and we're going to tackle James Bond's Goldfinger.
Cool.
So, and then if you haven't seen it yet, earlier today, did an interview with actress Lindsay Crane from How to Kill Monsters, a movie you and I reviewed, and even had another one of the co-stars show up and leave a message on my page for my review. So that was kind of cool. 2 things in one day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone, please go like and subscribe to Mr. Tony the Dead and like and subscribe to the Meltdown Radio podcast. We are the Ghouls of Midnight, and we'll see you later. Enjoy your night.
You see me for